So can we start?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, do you accept my humble obeisances? All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Yes, so today, Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji, she is going to enlighten us on don't neglect our best friend. Yeah, and she's going to refer Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 8th chapter, 31 verse. So, Mataji, over to you, please. Do you want me to share the screen, Mataji? Or
I've collected a few verses, couldn't finish all of them, but I can do the screen sharing if...
I'm just making you co-host. Yeah, over to you, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. Just a minute. Too many windows here. Okay, so not this one, but this. So just start with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we will read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 8, and verse 31st. And this chapter is about the story of Pingala, the prostitute, and this verse is connected to her. So I just read the verse itself. Santam samipe ramanam rati pradam vitta pradam nityamimam vihaya akamadam dukham vayadi shoka moha pradam tuchamaham bhajegya. Srila Prabhupada's disciples translation. I am such a fool that I have given up the service of that person who, being eternally situated within my heart, is actually most dear to me. That most dear one is the Lord of the universe, who is the bestower of real love and happiness and the source of all prosperity. Although he is in my own heart, I have completely neglected him. Instead, I have ignorantly served insignificant men who can never satisfy my real desires and who have simply brought me unhappiness, fear, anxiety, lamentation, and illusion. Srila Prabhupada's disciples purport. Pingala laments that she chose to serve most sinful, useless men. She falsely thought they would bring her happiness and neglected to serve the actual Lord of the heart, Krishna. She could understand how foolishly she had struggled for money, not knowing that the Supreme Lord is always inclined to award prosperity to his sincere devotee. The prostitute was proud of her ability to please men, but she now laments that she did not try to please the Supreme Lord by loving service. The Supreme Lord is completely aloof from the transactions of the material world. Lord Krishna is the actual enjoyer of everyone and everything, but one must learn how to please the Lord by pure spiritual service. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Chandraman Swaminiti Namine. So I just read this verse lately, and I really felt that I can really relate to it, because yeah, this is about a prostitute, a Pingala, but actually, if we are honest to ourselves, most of us are, we have a little Pingala in our hearts. We could even say that we are little Pingalas, and many times we decide to choose Maya instead of Krishna. And this verse very nicely speaks about how Krishna is our best friend. And once I've heard a class from Shubha Vilas Prabhu, who spoke about different kinds of friendship. Many of them we don't even consider friendship, but anyway, I just thought I mentioned these. So all of these have Sanskrit expression describing the type of relationship. The first is bandhu, and bandhu actually means associates. So our neighbors are our bandhus, classmates, colleagues, playmates, Facebook friends. Friend is a little bit misleading there. And, you know, we can have thousands and thousands of this kind of friends, but in a technical sense, they are not really friends. We just spend time together, but it's not even our decision, but, you know, just fate somehow made us cross each other's ways. The second level is a bit more intimate. These are called sakas, and it's more likely a relationship, a real relationship, deeper. It means some kind of friend, something like a pal or something, and we are interested. There is some kind of mutual interest in it. So we spend time together because we decide, we choose to spend time together. And there are not so many of these kind of friends, maybe something like 50. And yeah, we just like to spend time together. And the next, more deeper type of friendship is Priya Sakas. And there are even less of these. They are the best friends, you know, when maybe you don't even meet for years and years, but when you get together again, it's like we just met yesterday. And yeah, so maybe we have 4 or 5 of this type of friends, and we can really reveal our hearts to them. And I was thinking that even in the Western concept of relationships, these 3 exist. But the 4th one is a very special one. And usually in the Western society, we don't consider this as a friendship, but it's really a type of friendship. It's called suhrit. And this is something like a mentor type of friendship, a real well-wisher. And the relationship is really, really deep. It can be a parent, it can be a guru, it can be maybe some kind of classmate who is more elevated than us, something like that, who can give us guidance. And so there is a hierarchy here. So this kind of friendship is not on the equal level, but our friend is on a higher level than ourselves. But they are the ones who can give proper guidance how to live, how to lead our lives. And yeah, so if we think about this, we can understand that obviously we should make the goal of having more of these priyasakas, more of this suhrit, although it's very rare to have this mentor type of friend. And but if we think about Krishna, he's all the time, he's a completely different category. So I just remembered when gopis asked him about the different kind of lovers and which type he fits in. And in the end, we learned that he represents a completely different category. And it's the same when we speak about friendship, because obviously he is in total control of everything in the universe, and he sees and knows everything in the universe. So he is the one who can be our real well-wisher. And the other thing is that he's always available. So many times our friends in the material world, they are not available. They are far from us. We cannot contact them, but Krishna is always there. And if we go back to this to the verse and check out the translation of the words, so we can see some of these the qualities of this friendship. So he is most near in my heart. It means that he's available in each and every moment. Whenever we need our best friend, he's there. It says he's the most dear. He can give actual love or pleasure, and he can give prosperity. And it's an eternal relationship. He gives these all the time. So while our relationships in the material world, begins and ends sometime, but Krishna is there always. And one other thing to consider is that, we so many times choose the material energy over Krishna and turn our back to him again and again and again. And usually if my friend does this to me, maybe I can tolerate it and forgive it one time. If we have a really good relationship, then 2 times, not so much more. We at some point, we just decide to end this relationship because there is no point. But Krishna tolerates this so many times from us because we so many times turn our back to him. And whenever we turn to him again, he just waits for that possibility. And there is one really nice description about this, how he sees our relationship in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Lord Narayan is speaking to Gopakumar. And he says that, welcome, my dear boy. I am most fortunate to meet you here. For so long, I have been eager to see you. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking, perhaps in this lifetime, or this, or this, or this, he will finally turn his face toward me. But I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that myself have created. You showed me no mercy, and as I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth, dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode. I myself became your guru, known by the name Jayanta. Today you have at last fulfilled my desire. I have harbored the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever. So it's really such a heart-touching description of how Krishna feels, how much he desires for all of us to be with him again, even though we did so many things against him. We forgot him so many times. We turned our back to him so many times, and he's still waiting this much. If we compare what material things, material energy can give us, there is also a description of this. So we can see here, who can never satisfy one's desires, gives misery, gives fear, gives mental distress, gives lamentation, gives illusion, and which is most insignificant. So, which means that actually material happiness is cheap. So this is the two type of happiness and the two type of relationship compared to each other. And I was thinking that it's a little bit shocking to think about. Yeah, I'm also like Pingala. I also choose material energy so many times, but it's also a good news that we can be Pingalas, because there are so many exalted personalities in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There is Parikshit Maharaj, but I feel that, oh, who am I to follow his footsteps? I am so fallen. What hope is there for me? There is Prahlad Maharaj, the same. How could be something like him who could bear all these things in a 5 years old age? Ambarish Maharaj, just seeing that I will be destroyed in the next moment, and anyway, whatever happens is okay. But there are two personalities in the Bhagavatam who give us hope. One of them is, forgot the name, in the Ajamila in the sixth canto, because he's a sinner. I'm a sinner. So if he has hope, then I also have hope. And here we can see that Pingala is there, and she's a prostitute. She does this sinful activity, and if she has hope, then I have hope. So it's good news that all of us have hope. So we can all the time turn to Krishna. Just within a moment, we can decide, like her. It wasn't a long process. It's just within a night, waiting for lovers to come, and nobody showed up. And she just became attached by this frustration. So we have hope. But let's see a little bit. Most of the thing which I would like to speak is how it happens that we actually choose material energy. And there are different aspects how we can examine this. One thing is that, so in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about how this material desire is awakening, and what is the steps, what it results, these material desires. So he says, while contemplating on the objects of senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. And in the next verse, it continues, from anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. So we can see that actually these material desire come from meditation on sense objects. And we can see where it will lead at some point. I've heard something very interesting connected to this, that what kind of things trigger our interest, in how it happens, because you can see that interest is triggered, then meditation comes, and from meditation attachment comes, and then the whole problem just is escalating. So our mind and our body is the combination of different modes of nature, certain type of combination, and it's different for everybody. But when we met a sense object which has a similar type of combination of the material modes of nature, then the mind thinks that, okay, I can connect to it. Like, there are these plugs. Plugs are different in Europe, in United States, and different parts of the world. So not all plugs could be connected. But if they are compatible, then they can be connected. And it happens in this case that there are different sense objects, and also they are in different combinations of the modes of nature. And everybody has these certain sense objects which trigger the interest. And what happens is that when the mind, through the senses, connect the sense objects, then we have this longing that we had this original relationship with Krishna, and that gave us pleasure, but we don't have it now. So there is this all the time, this feeling of separation, this feeling of loneliness, and we want to feel it with something. And while we connect to these sense objects, because the modes are similar, we feel a little bit of relief. And we feel that this relief is happiness. But this isn't. So it will go away, and it cannot feel that big hole which we have inside us. And there is one interesting example. For example, when we feel the suffering of hunger, then we want to please our tongue and our stomach. And so we want to connect our senses with the sense object of food. So sometimes we get food which is according to our taste, and sometimes we get food which is not according to our taste. And sometimes we don't get food. So these are basically the three possibilities. So when we get food which is according to our taste and similar type of modes of nature, then for a little bit, this suffering is gone, and we feel that, okay, we are satisfied. When we don't get food, obviously there is this frustration, which leads to all of these things which Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. And the interesting is that when we get food, but it's not according to our taste, then, okay, the stomach is filled, but the tongue is not really satisfied. And this feeling of satisfaction won't come. So in this case, we also don't get the happiness. Because, the function of the mind is that it thinks, it desires, and it feels. So, sorry, I just lost track of my thoughts. So, yeah, so when we think about the meditation starts, so we think about the sense objects, and we start to desire. But because we couldn't really connect to the sense object, feeling is not there. So the mind couldn't be properly satisfied. Yeah. So there was one interesting example which happened in Hungary once. So there are the Sankirtan devotees who go out on the streets and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. And many times it's a big austerity. Probably all of you know this. And on one occasion in the morning, it was announced, or maybe it was something like a gossip, I don't know about these details, but the devotees heard that tomorrow evening there will be pizza. So, the meditation started. Ooh, today in the evening, when okay, whatever comes, maybe it will be cold outside, maybe it will be warm, too hot, or maybe it will be rainy. Maybe the people will be not so kind to me, but whatever happens, if I survive this day, then I get home and there will be pizza. So it worth it, And whole day there is this meditation. And the devotees arrived in the evening. And what happened is that the pizza was that on the pizza dough, it was some kind of like a thick dal. And, the looks of it wasn't so pleasing. And also the taste wasn't really what was expected. And because there was this meditation all day, and the desire was like, totally extreme in the sky, and in the end it wasn't fulfilled. So there wasn't this satisfaction, the feeling of satisfaction. So because there was something called pizza, and they could satisfy the stomach, but the mind wasn't satisfied. And we get all kinds of pleasures from Krishna. Whatever it is, if it's spiritual, obviously we get from him. But even material pleasures we get from him. So Krishna says in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So it's very interesting that everyone will get pleasure from Krishna, but those who want to connect with him in a spiritual way will get this spiritual pleasure, which is real happiness. But those who want to connect to him, to his material energy, they will get that kind of reciprocation. So they will get material pleasure, but the best outcome, the best possible outcome, is the ceasing of suffering. So it won't be real pleasure. It's just I don't suffer anymore. And the other interesting thing is that because we are always looking for similar modes of nature, the similar combination of the modes of nature than our own, because the material modes of nature are always changing. So till the change is not so much, then it's okay. But if there is a sudden big change, then the same thing which gave us pleasure previously won't give pleasure anymore. So that's one thing that's worth considering. And let's check out this thing from another aspect. So I mentioned this example of the pizza, and I was thinking that it's not a coincidence that this was promised, because actually everybody loves pizza. And if I start to say, like, imagine that there is a pizza in front of you, you take a bite, the crust is so crispy, and you can feel that the cheese, this delicious cheese, obviously ahimsa, it just melts in your mouth, and you can feel the spicy tomato sauce, and there are fresh basil leaves. So we just start our meditation, and maybe we even decide, okay, maybe today I will have some pizza for lunch or for dinner. The interesting thing is that everybody loves pizza, but there are many, many different tastes even in pizza. And if I mentioned this description before, everybody imagines the type of pizza what he or she likes. So there are some people who like thin crust, others like thick crust. Some people like much sauce on it. Others don't really like sauce so much. Some people like much topping, different vegetables and stuff. Others don't. I've heard Guru Maharaj said that it's sabji pizza. So not to speak about pineapple. So, it's a big argument amongst pizza lovers. So, but all the time when someone mentions pizza, we imagine the type of pizza we like. And it happens when this meditation starts that, there is some kind of inspiration for some sense object. And we start this, having this relationship with the sense object on a subtle level. But it's not really the sense object, but our image of the sense object, which may not be the same. So for example, you might experience that some person just triggers your interest. And usually it's between, man and woman. And I've heard one example from someone that he used to do it sometimes, that he thinks that, oh, this girl and that boy, they would be so nice together, and goes to the boy and, oh, look, that girl, she's watching you. I think she likes you. And then later he goes to the girl and says, there is that boy. I think he likes you because he seems to be watching you a lot. And he just does this. And these two people start to watch each other. Maybe they weren't even interested before. But, it's so flattering to the ego that, oh, someone likes me and I'm special to someone. And I feel myself to be a better person. And I start to notice different kind of nice qualities in the other person. And we don't really advertise our bad qualities, so I don't really see so much of that. But so first I have this idea of what he or she might be like. Then I start to imagine what it would be like to meet with him, meeting with her. So some kind of illusionary association happens. And that becomes more intense during time. And there will be intense desire and attachment as a result. So it's so the conclusion is that the problem is that our desire many times is not even based on something real. And a third point connected to this is there was a time when I started to think how much there are these illusionists in the entertainment. And it's a little bit similar type of job than the job of Maya Devi. And there are similar type of tools in it. And because I thought that, okay, maybe it would be interesting to use it in preaching. And I started to read about this. And I came to know that actually these illusionists have a whole psychology, this science behind it. And this psychology is about how to direct others' attention. And there are very different kind of ways what they can do it. So one way is that, okay, I will do the trick here. So I don't want you to check it, to see it. So I will do the trick maybe behind me or something like, some place you can't see it. So just to divert attention from the place of the trick. But later they found out that it works so much better when I don't want others not to look here, but if I make them look here, then they obviously won't look here. So to divert attention to something else. And actually we can see how Maya Devi does this. So sometimes Maya Devi does that. She just hides Krishna from our view, and this is what happens to materialists. That okay, I don't see Krishna, I don't see God anywhere, so probably there isn't a God. So that's what happens here. In some other situations, people might have an interest in Krishna, but Maya Devi instead gives them something from the material energy, which is so attractive that we tend to forget about Krishna. And sometimes it happens that we know that we have our 4 defects in the material life. For example, our senses are imperfect. And that's also used, that whatever we don't see, we don't know about that, and that will cause our knowledge is not perfect. So it will cause problems. For example, in case of devotees, it sometimes it's used to be a problem that we see that someone does something bad. For example, lately I had a discussion with a devotee, and she told me a story that one junior devotee saw a senior devotee drinking cola. And this devotee who told this to me just asked that what to do, what to tell to this junior devotee about this, because she was totally, upset after seeing this. And many times this happened to us, that we see something which we consider bad, but we don't see possible reasons behind it. Instead, we start to criticize. So it's also a trick of Maya Devi. And there is, for example, another trick of these illusionists and Maya Devi, when they repeat something again and again and again. So you see him doing the same time 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and at some times repetition makes you be bored, and because of that, you won't pay attention so much. And the 7th time, he will do something very similar but not the same. And it happens to us that, yeah, I'm not so much attached to this, to that, because I could tolerate it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, 20 times. But the 21st time, something different happens, a little bit different, but then attachment, then desire and attachment comes. So there are these tricks, and we can be the victims, so-called victims of these illusionists. Although they are just, people like us, and even though they can trick us. So what to speak about Maya Devi? She's very good at what she's doing. But if we follow this, then the problem is that we will be, instead of Krishna's friends, we will be the slaves of Maya. So just let's check out shortly the results of material desires, because we could see in this verse here that it never satisfies one's desires. Misery, fear, mental distress, lamentation, illusion will come. And Guru Maharaj is there are these daily drops of nectar. And one time there was a quote from him that materialistic life is such: A, you didn't get what you wanted. B, you got what you didn't want. C, so you understood the difference. So you get something, but it's not what you wanted. So C, you got what you wanted, and it didn't give you happiness. And D, that's the last one. You got what you wanted, it gave some happiness, and then it left. So there are not so good results, we can understand. So if we just summarize all this, we can see that Maya Devi, material energy, will give us these bad results like fear, mental distress, lamentation, never satisfied desires, illusion. On the other hand, Krishna is always near us, always available. He's the most dear. He gives actual love and pleasure. He is giving prosperity. So there is a big gap between these two. So it's really, really vital to choose the path of being the friend of Krishna. Oh, sorry, I wanted to. And about that, one last thing which is worth considering, that Krishna speaks about Krishna in Bhagavad Gita speaks about who are the ones who turn to him. And there are these 4 types of people who are suffering, who desire wealth, and who are curious, and who are searching for the absolute truth. But Krishna always gives free choice. And you know, these 4 things, these 4 situations can lead us to Krishna. But the problem is that sometimes we, even in this situation, choose something else. So for example, there are those who are suffering. Some people choose Krishna. Some people choose alcohol, drugs. Some people choose revenge. Some people choose depression. So it's always a matter of choice. In the other case, those who are desiring wealth, some people turn to demigods. Some people go to this stock market. Some people are stealing and robbing others. Some people gamble. So yeah, I always experience this, for example, that I saw some short advertisement on internet, and it triggers my curiosity. So Maya Devi also uses these situations, and then yeah, I saw a short YouTube video, and I start to be interested in what this movie would be like, or what that other product would be like, because these things really work, and it's always a matter of choice what we decide, what we want to achieve, who we want to approach, Krishna or Maya Devi. And that's the greatest choice of our lives. So the end. That's what I would wanted to say. So please, if you have any comments, realizations, questions, then we can continue with discussion.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for highlighting the tricks of Maya Devi and how our mind, when attracted to material energy, gives us lamentation, illusion, and fear. And like in terms of choices, we have very clear choice. Either, as you said, either be friend of Krishna or be servant of Maya Devi. And it's very easy to really fall prey to Maya Devi because she is Krishna energy and she is so strong. So really we need very, very strong sadhana so we can be friend of Krishna. So thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any questions, any comments, realization, then I think it will be good to have that discussion with Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. It's a really interesting topic, this. First off, my first thought was about when you said this is about friends and how not to lose a friend, or how to lose a friend. I was thinking about real friends, but really it's the mind you were talking about here as your best friend, and how to get Krishna from that. And then this trickery thing that you were talking about, it's really interesting because everyone loves a good magic. Everyone loves a good trick show. And, you really do get roped into that. And that's such a good analogy of how Maya gets us. Because, like, you know, in London, when you walk around, there's lots of little shows people put on, and you know, and you just stop for us 5 seconds, and you get roped into, oh, what is this person going to do next? The fact that it's so easy to get pulled in is that danger, isn't it? And just remembering at every step that this is an illusion, this is not permanent, this is. So yeah, it's a really good analogy, and I think that really sort of resonates with me, because I am a victim of that for sure. I love a good trick, and I love watching a person doing it.
I suppose it's true for all of us, because, you know, they are there because there is people like it. If people didn't like it, then there wouldn't be, you know, anyone to pay for that, to watch that. So yeah,
that pull to get them in. Yeah, it's difficult to, you know, let go, obviously, in other things. But so we're really lucky to have this understanding that it is an illusion. So yeah, thank you for that analogy. It's really resonates with me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's really interesting the way to understand how Maya Devi works, because I just remember that I remember there was a time when I was feeling that, oh, Maya Devi is so strong on me, and maybe I should pray to her to let me go, you know, and then I just realized immediately that, oh, but she's also this servant of Krishna. So actually, I want her to not properly do her job. And yeah, so we have to understand this, that she's a really elevated devotee of Krishna, and she does an amazing job. She does it perfectly. So if we don't grab the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of Guru, who is the representative of Krishna, then we just don't have any chance against Maya. So it's really important to understand. And I always remember this short part which Srila Prabhupada told the devotees, that the problem is that you don't have a healthy fear of Maya, because sometimes we don't understand how dangerous Maya Devi can be. So,
yeah, that's true. You play with it, don't you? Thinking that you're strong and you can handle it. You know, oh, I'll just indulge in this for 5 minutes. Before you know it, that 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. You have to have a healthy fear of Maya every step of the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any other questions, any comment or relation, please do unmute. So Mataji, I feel always one thing, that we have been listening to like how strong is Maya Devi and how easy it is really to fall prey to Maya Devi, and because the whole world is really just going in that direction. And only thing I feel is that association of devotee. I think that's the only thing which really helps us, because that brings us back to that, yes, like either they will engage us in devotional service, most of the time, I would not say, somehow, whether in temple activity, whether our personal sadhana, or sometimes when we speak to devotees, their question is, okay, how our sadhana is going, what we are doing. So all, if we are not doing something, then it really helps us in thinking in that direction that yes, we have to do something better now. So I think that looks like only key weapon which we have, really a very positive weapon in our hand, is a devotee association.
Yes, yes, that's a feedback. But the interesting thing is that actually Krishna surrounds us with so powerful weapons against Maya Devi, because the holy name is unimaginably powerful also. And just lately, in one class I mentioned I had a personal experience about the power of Mahaprasadam. Maybe I will tell it, but it's a very unique type of story, because it's from the beginning of my me being a devotee, and it's really a special type of thing. You will see. So there was a devotee couple who preached to me at that time, and then I really didn't decide at that point that I would like to be a devotee, but and didn't chant. But for example, the 3 of the 4 regulative principles was okay for me. Anyway, they just decided to move to Krishna Valley, and wanted to give me give the best which they can to start me on my spiritual life. So they invited me for a Namahatta program in the temple. And at that time, there was the head pujari of Krishna Valley in the Budapest temple, and she gave a presentation on that program about deity worship. So yeah, there was hearing also about Krishna. And the other thing was that she all the time brings some kind of Mahaprasadam from Radha and distributes it to the devotees. And I also got one of these Mahaprasadam, and I just came home, things happened, and within a few days, it was such a short period of time, but I had an interesting dream. It's really not anything which elevated devotees have. It's really, the combination of the mind. But I had this dream with really small deities. And, because there was the hearing and there was the prasadam, somehow it was combined in my head, and I ate 2 of these deities. So it's really unconventional dream. But anyway, I woke up in the morning, and I had this feeling that, oh wow, I ate these deities, and there is something sacred in me, and really had this idea that, okay, I cannot continue this bad habit, which was against the 4 regulative principle, and I thought that, okay, I really have to stop this. I really have to stop this. And it was very interesting that this whole thing just helped me, that it was stopped like this, and it was one piece of Mahaprasadam, and that 1 hour of hearing about Krishna. And obviously there is the association of devotees, so as you mentioned, but it's so interesting that we come to Krishna consciousness, and we have this. We get the idea how powerful the holy name is, how powerful hearing is, Mahaprasadam, association, service. And after some time, because it becomes so regular thing in our life, that we have a tendency of not feeling so much the value of it. I've heard one example when in the preaching department in the Budapest temple, one of the young devotees who just came for a program, he came to these preaching devotees that, oh, here is a Mahaprasadam, would you like? And yeah, just eat it. And they were smiling and stuff. And, there was this young person and said, but this is Mahaprasadam, So because he really could value it, which we sometimes just forget about the value. And these are really, really powerful weapons, and we just don't utilize it. It's just so interesting because there is this saying, this familiarity breeds contempt, and this works the same way in these situations. So that's one thing that sometimes we don't properly utilize what we have. And the other thing is just one short example, which it happened to me. And Guru Maharaj corrected me, and it was like a wow type of moment for me. So on one occasion, it was the end of the year and so many programs happened and stuff. And I just felt that, everything became so dry and I'm so tired. And I just decided that maybe I shouldn't go for so many programs and go to the temple a little bit less. And I wrote about this to Guru Maharaj, and he said that if spiritual life becomes dry, then you have to associate with the devotees more. And I just realized that, wow, Maya Devi really convinced me that the very thing which would help me to neglect that thing. So it's really, really tricky. And we really need guidance in these things. But there are very, very many very powerful weapons we have.
Yes, Mataji, very nice. Absolutely. And very nice, your dream. I loved it.
That was a funny one. Lately I gave a class about Lord Buddha. And I just remembered this at that time to tell this to the devotees, because actually it happened the same thing. Lord Buddha just tricked the people to get to a higher level. And in my case, it also happened that he just reciprocated on the level which I was. When someone becomes more elevated devotee, obviously this reciprocation won't be something like this, but at that time I could relate to this. So this is how he approached me. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. It's really powerful.
Thank you for listening.
So we'll wait for one last question, if there is any. Otherwise, it's already now just hour. Looks like there is no further question, Mataji.
Mm.
So maybe we will end this class here. So thank you very, very much. I really loved your examples, your analogy, and how to really control our mind from the influence of Maya Devi and make Krishna as our real friend. So thank you very, very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji ki jai.
Ora Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakabhata Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai.